WebmasterRadio.fm proudly presents the longest-running program on affiliate marketing. Welcome to Affiliate Buzz. Our hosts, James and Arlene Martell, are here to inspire, inform, and motivate you with expert insight, interviews, and information that will increase your bottom line. Advance your affiliate marketing efforts every week on Affiliate Buzz. Now, please welcome James and Arlene.
Yes, it's James Martell here, and welcome to edition number 489 of the Affiliate Buzz, where we've been keeping affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs since way back in 2003. If you happen to be joining us here today live on Webmaster Radio, it's great to have you with us. If you happen to be joining us through a podcast on your smartphone, tablet, computer, or maybe your Wi-Fi radio, a very special welcome to you as well. Arlene is away today, however, not to worry. I'm here with Mark Daoust, founder and president of QuietLightBrokerage.com, a leading voice and authority in the emerging niche of selling and buying profitable websites. Today, Mark can look back over 600 plus websites sold over 100 million in total transactional value. And today we're going to talk with Mark about how to build an online business you can sell for 6 to 7 figures. And we're going to talk about the world of selling and buying websites. Now, before Mark joins us, just a quick reminder that if you would love to wake up in the morning to an email from your virtual assistant telling you your blog and social media has been updated, your email newsletter is ready to go, your YouTube channel has grown by 67 new subscribers overnight, and you've made 10 new sales for a total commission of $500. If that sounds like a good start to your day and you're not quite there yet, I do recommend grabbing up my brand new 3rd edition Outsourcing Essentials course, where I share with you the secrets to building your business by leveraging low-cost freelance talent to explode your profits. In this course, I'll share with you exactly what I've learned over the last 15 years outsourcing more than 1,600 projects through Freelance Upwork and working directly with over 500 freelancers. So if you haven't yet mastered the art of outsourcing, you can learn more and get the first 2 lessons for free at jamesmartell.com/courses. Now, Mark is the founder and president again of Quiet Light, and after selling an online publication that he built, which boasted over 220,000 subscribers, Mark is a frequent speaker at conferences and a guest contributor to publications such as Entrepreneur, Forbes Inc., Huffington Post, among others. He's also the host of the Quiet Light podcast. Mark, welcome to the Affiliate Buzz.
Thanks for having me here.
Hey, it's great to have you on board. And I thought, a great way to kick this off, because I know this is a very popular topic, and I know my listeners will just love to hear what you have to say on this. What led you into the field of selling and buying websites?
Well, what really led me is the experience of doing it myself and selling that initial newsletter subscription business that I had. That was a long time ago now. That was about a dozen years ago or so. And, I started that and I built it up. And as a young entrepreneur, decided that it would be nice to put the feather in my cap of selling a business. And so I went through the process of selling. And I said that those words that I think so many entrepreneurs say, which is, how hard could it be to actually do what these guys are doing? I looked at the broker that helped me and thought, man, he's taking 10% of all of my hard work here just to sell the business. I should try doing that. It seems like it's pretty easy. Turns out it's harder than it looks. But that's really when I first started thinking about getting into the brokering space.
Yeah, interesting. Would you kind of tee up what we're going to talk about here today? We're going to talk about how to build an online business you can sell for 6 to 7 figures. Give us a little flavor of what we're going to chat about.
Sure. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs have that goal in mind, right? They like the idea, or people have this vision of building a business that is good enough that they could sell it for 6 or 7 or even 8 figures. But how do you get there? What are the attributes required to sell a business for that much money? What do buyers look for? Who's buying these types of businesses? And what are the steps that somebody can take practically in order to get to that sort of an exit point? So we can talk about these steps, these attributes, and try and answer some of these common questions people have.
So let's do that. Let's start right. If we could, let's start right there. So what are the steps? How does somebody that's maybe they have an existing site or an existing online business, or maybe they're brand new? Who do you typically deal with? Either or?
Yeah, so this is probably not going to be too much of a shocker for anybody, but when we hear about acquisitions, we often hear about acquisitions in the headlines, right? Google buys some unknown company for gobs of money, and we get sort of this romanticized version of these acquisitions. Well, those are really kind of on the fringe of the acquisitions market of where businesses are really being bought and sold. There's a very large active marketplace of businesses being bought and sold every single day, again in that 5, 6, 7, and 8-figure range. And most of these businesses are businesses that have some history behind them. They've been built, they're profitable, they're making money, and the buyers are, depending on the size of the business, the buyers looking to either continue what somebody has built or grow it and add it on to their existing operations. So the first quality that we really need to talk about here is the business established, and is it making money? And this is really the first step and the first ingredient you really need to have. The exception would be if you really are building something groundbreaking and kind of changing an entire industry with some unique software or one of these really kind of fringe cases. But those really are outliers within the acquisition markets. The vast majority of deals that are done are done in the marketplace. They're done based off somebody building a good, sustainable, profitable business.
I think probably everybody's familiar with either the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank. And Kevin, who is one of the sharks, always asks, and the only thing he seems to care about is how much are you selling and how much money are you making, and he bases everything on that. So you'd mentioned, is it established? Is it making money? So what does somebody need to know? Maybe they're into their business now. I would imagine there's a lot of things you have to have in place to be able to prepare in order to sell your business. So what are some of those steps? Some of those, I think you call them qualities. You talked about the first quality.
Yeah. So what I would say, if people want to understand what a business might be worth, let's take a step back, and I will give everybody a nice framework that we use here, and we guide our clients through all the time in order to make their businesses more sellable, whether it be 1, 2, 3, or 4 years down the road. First things first, though, you need to understand how most online businesses are valued. And most online businesses are valued as a multiple of their earnings. And when we talk about earnings, we're not talking about the total revenue. We're talking about the amount of total owner benefit. So what is your income? And remove, those funny accounting expenses that your accountant's going to put in there, such as depreciation or amortization, these things that are used to reduce your taxable income. We want to know what's the owner's benefit from owning this business. And that's the earnings that we're looking at. And then that number gets multiplied. So the first thing that we really need to look at when you are analyzing your business is, do you have a good, healthy owner's benefit? Is that solid, or do you have a lot of fluff built into your business as well? So that'd be the first thing that I would guide people to do, and just understand how that works. And it's funny that you bring up Shark Tank and the fact that they focus so much on the earnings. When I talk to clients, sometimes they think that we're hyper-focused on earnings and that we're really, really ignoring the other aspects of the business. We're not. We're not ignoring those things at all. But the fact of the matter is, people buy a business because they want a return on investment. And the easiest way to really calculate that return on investment is to look at what a business is currently earning and what it's done in the past, and then be able to project out what it could realistically do in the near future. So those earnings are super crucial. But outside of the earnings, I tell people to focus on 4 main keys, and I call them the 4 pillars of value for an online business. These 4 pillars are risk, growth, transferability, and documentation. And there's literally dozens and dozens of factors that I'm going to look at, or a buyer's going to look at, when they're evaluating how much a business is worth, but they can all fit neatly into one of these 4 pillars. Right, and so if it's okay with you, James, I can run through these pretty quickly here for your listeners. Yeah, all right. So risk is pretty obviously. We all know what risk is with our business. Why is it important? Well, keeping in mind that most buyers are buying because they want a solid return on investment. They want to get something back for their investment. No one's doing this to waste money. they need to take a look at what could potentially hurt the business or kill the business. Online businesses are fantastic in a lot of ways. The one area where there's a lot of risk is if the business or if the revenue disappears, there's often very little value to that sort of business, right? If you have an online business that doesn't make any money, how valuable is that really? It's just a bunch of code at that point. So buyers are going to look at this and they're going to look at what could potentially destroy this business. As a business owner, what you should be looking at would be single points of failure in your business. So are you relying only on, say, search engine traffic?
Yeah.
Or are all of your revenues built up on Amazon? I dealt with a client a few years ago that built their entire business on Facebook's organic reach that you could have if you set up a page on Facebook and all the fans that you could get and how much business you could do just with the organic reach in Facebook. We know today it's a completely different world with Facebook, right? So that was a single point of failure for his business where he built an entire business off of Facebook's platform. Facebook changed, and it completely changed the structure of his business and the ability for it to move forward. So take a look at single points of failure. Also take a look at whether or not you're dependent on another company. In that case, that was also a dependency. But another example I've often given is online businesses that sell like Twitter followers or Facebook fans. These are not sustainable businesses in the long term because they depend really on the success or relevancy of another website to be successful.
And and I'm going to say, and goodness knows, we know things change a lot. Google algorithm, Facebook just notoriously changed their algorithm again. Everybody's scrambling, and that could really devastate a business as if they're completely reliant on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've seen. I think it was probably year one. All of a sudden, I saw all these sites coming up to us for sale, all these business owners trying to sell their MySpace wallpaper websites. That used to be a thing, right? And that was 10 years ago. It's actually not that long ago that MySpace was actually relevant. And then what was it, 2009, 2010, 2011, when we started seeing all the search engine upheaval with Panda, Penguin updates, these things absolutely obliterated sites that were reliant on that. So look at those things for sure in your business and really do a thorough analysis. Take a look at your vendors. Are you relying on one vendor for your business? And is there another vendor? If you sell products, for example, is there another vendor? Do you have one employee or one person doing all the coding on your website? And what happens if they get hit by a bus? I actually worked with a business owner who did have one developer, and that developer died in a tragic accident. Obviously the greater tragedy is somebody's death, but there's a ripple effect there. He was left in a situation where he didn't know what to do. He didn't even know how to access his own servers because it was all in this one developer's head. Yeah,
I was going to say, and that's just a few areas of risk, and I'm sure you look at many others. Let's do this. I'm up against the clock. I got to take a quick break, but when we get back, let's continue on to talk about growth. You mentioned transferability and a few other things, so let's do that. Now I'm here with Mark Dost, founder of QuietLightBrokerage.com, and after a real quick break, I'm going to ask Mark to continue on with the four elements of his framework, and then I'm going to ask him to share a few of his favorite deals over the past 10 years as well. That and hopefully a lot more right after a quick break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Are you looking for the best in WordPress speed, security, and scalability? WP Engine is a digital experience platform for WordPress, powering digital experiences for large brands around the world. With easy-to-use site management tools and powerful do-it-your-way development features, WP Engine gives you the flexibility to build it your way. Improve your SEO and conversion rates with a faster site on WP Engine. Learn more on WPEngine.com.
Looking for a better way to get more traffic and interaction to your Facebook page? Imagine Facebook interactivity on your page like you've never seen. Introducing your new Facebook marketing fix, ZoSocial, the new and revolutionary way to easily manage and automate your Facebook contests and sweepstakes. Create a fun, easy-to-win contest by writing a simple Facebook post. Watch your post go more viral and generate loads of interaction. Track your traffic and generate email lists with ease. ZoSocial is mobile-friendly and complies with Facebook Terms of Service. Let ZoSocial give your Facebook page some flash today. Zoom over to ZoSocial.com.
St. Jude continues to advance by increasing cure rates in childhood cancer, and donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. When it comes to research and advancements, there are some things that only we can do because we have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Your virtual webmaster frat house.
Webmasterradio.fm. Hey, bring your togas.
Webmasterradio.fm.
Thanks for listening. Webmasterradio.fm. We're everywhere.
Time now to hear some more affiliate buzz on webmasterradio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Mark Dose, founder president of the Quiet Light Brokerage at quietlightbrokerage.com. Now, Mark, you covered off some areas of risk. Let's jump into, I think, number 2 was growth.
Yeah, that's right. And you keep me moving along, James, if I get too long on a single point. Like I said, there's lots of things that can go under each of these pillars.
You bet.
Yeah, all right, so growth. Again, this is really kind of a no-brainer if you think about it. Buyers are interested in a good return on investment. So if you're able to show a potential buyer that the business can grow under them and how it can grow, that's going to be really appealing for any potential buyer. Now, there's a trick here, though, and that is distinguishing potential from opportunities for growth or legitimate growth paths. And the difference is pretty simple. It's the practicality of that potential growth. Buyers, especially people who have been looking for quite a while, hear this all the time. They hear sellers tell them just how much, quote-unquote, potential their business has. And then they say, if somebody only does this or somebody does that, if you apply more marketing dollars, and really it boils down to kind of a pie-in-the-sky sort of dreaming or wishing without any real substance behind it. What you need to show is just a real path towards growth. Adding more products or adding the service and feature that you haven't gotten around to doing yet. And then you have to answer the question, why haven't you done it yet? And those questions have to have good, solid explanations and stories behind them for a buyer to really be intrigued by it. The exception to all this would be your past history. If you're showing steady growth over the past 2-3 years, that's obviously a really good sign of a business that's in a growth pattern, and that's going to be super appealing. So getting that trend right is extremely important. When I look at a business and evaluate it, the first thing I ask is how much money is it making? Try and get a sense for that. The second question I ask is what's the trend? Because that affects both that risk and that growth pillar significantly. So just to recap, know the difference between potential and growth paths or opportunities for growth. Understand the potential is this kind of blue sky sort of stuff that isn't taken seriously. And then take a look at your trend and try and get your timing right. Too many people sell when it's too late, when their trend is going down. The third pillar out of these 4, so we've had risk, we've had growth. The third is transferability. And really, you can kind of nuzzle this under risk if you wanted, but it's so important that we break it out into its own pillar. And that is to make sure that somebody can step into your business from day one without negatively impacting the business. What we're really trying to protect against here is key man risk. Are you so key to your business that it's going to fail without you? An example I like to use would be a blogger who blogs every day. You can't sell a blog because you can't sell you. If you're the personality behind your business, not going to work. So focus on making the business transferable. What people can do to make their businesses more valuable, and this does impact the value, is record SOPs, standard operating procedures for how things are done in your business. Really focus on that. Make your business run so that you're working on the business, not in the business. The more you do that and the more documentation you set up for SOPs, it actually has a positive impact on the value of your business because it just becomes an easier proposition for potential buyers to come into the business and run it from day one. And it reduces the perceived risk and allows them to go after that growth right away. Okay, last pillar. It probably sounds like the most boring pillar. It really is, but it's 100% in everybody's control, and it has a significant impact on value, and that is the quality of your documentation. First, your financial records. You need to be keeping good books, and if I were writing this out, I would put this in bold and capital letters. Excel is not accounting software. You should not be using Excel to keep your books. Get on professional accounting software. Xero is my favorite. QuickBooks would be second. But use something that works for you, that's professional. Hire a bookkeeper if you don't want to learn how to do it on your own, but have clean books. Keep them separated. Don't commingle businesses together. Get your personal expenses out there. And I'll tell you, it baffles me all the time that with online businesses, we're data-driven, but we completely ignore the most important data, which is the revenue and the expenses. It's a really good thing to keep track of just from a business standpoint. So document that stuff. Make sure you're documenting the other things as well, such as the SOPs or contracts or agreements that you have with people. Keep that documentation nice and clean, and you can actually add a lot of value if you're able to present a buyer with very clean books, very clean documentation, a diagram of your business, and they can look at it and say, this business is just well buttoned up. It makes it a lot easier to actually transition out and for that buyer to transition in.
That's great. That's great. So, and we're talking about how to build an online business you can sell for 6 to 7 figures. And of course, in this particular case, you're talking about the 4 pillars, and that's what you're looking at when you're evaluating a online business to purchase. But obviously, you flip this over as business owners who are looking to build that website or build that online business. And I should say online business, not website. For the 6 to 7 figures, these are also the same pillars I would guess that you're recommending to anybody who's looking to position themselves for sale.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what, if you're looking to position yourself for sale, take these 4 pillars, analyze your business under these 4 pillars. Understand, first of all, your revenue and your earnings drive the valuation, but these 4 pillars will drive the multiple you get. And so I started out by saying the owner's benefit that you get, so that the earnings that you receive on an annual basis from your business, that number is going to be multiplied by some number. And how well you do in each of these 4 pillars determines what sort of multiple that you get, or it influences the multiple that you get on your business. The better you do, the higher the multiple. The worse you do, the lower the multiple, down to the point where it could become unsellable. So these 4 pillars are the lens that you can use when you're evaluating your business. And if you're looking to prepare your business for sale, you want to exit in 1 or 2 or 3 years, understand that it takes a good 12 to 18 months to really prepare your business for sale if you are not scoring well in all of these categories. So you're going to want to prepare your business as well and make sure that you're well prepared for that day that you do decide to sell. The great part about this is even if you don't think you're going to sell, even if that's not in your plans, but you still go through this exercise, you're going to end up with a great business to own as well. So this is really just good practical business advice, whether or not you want to sell.
Now I'm here with Mark Dowse, the founder and president of QuietLightBrokerage.com. After a real quick break, I'm going to ask Mark to tell us a little bit about his podcast, where you can obviously learn more about what Mark does and the services that he also offers. We'll do that right after a real quick break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Do you look at the task of ranking your site at the top of the search engines like you would climbing the top of Mount Everest? It doesn't have to be. TopSEOs.com knows how hard that climb can be, and they can make top ranking a reality. Top SEOs sends you to only the right search vendors and agencies that they know will work for you. Since 2002, TopSEOs.com has reviewed and researched the best search engine marketing agencies and solutions providers. Don't risk the cost of falling off the proverbial peak of search rankings. Let Top SEOs give you peace of mind. TopSEOs.com, the independent authority on search vendors.
Catholic Charities is committed to providing life's basic needs.
We thank you for bringing us all here today, letting these people understand how Catholic Charities runs and how important these people are. And we ask you to guide them, to protect them, and keep them here forever because this community needs them.
Visit www.catholiccharitiesusa.org to learn.
A more refreshing kind of talk radio. Webmasterradio.fm. We're everywhere.
Time now to hear some more Affiliate Buzz on webmasterradio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Again, Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Mark Daoust, founder and president of Quiet Light Brokerage. Now, we've got about 3 minutes left, and I was going to ask you before the break to share a few of your favorite deals over your past 10 years, but we're going to be short on time, so why don't you share one of them? Do you have one that comes to mind, one that really stands out?
Yeah, the one that stands out would be one that I did probably about a year and a half ago now. And what really was enjoyable about this deal was just the buyer and the seller themselves. Starting on the sell side, it was a woman that I worked with who was just extremely organized, and it made the process so much easier for her, for the buyer, for me as well, if I could be selfish about that. And it really helped me see just how much value being organized in that process can add. She ended up getting a great deal on her business, more than what the market would have normally paid for a business like hers. And I think that was largely because she was organized. We actually private shopped the business as well. We only approached 10 buyers privately about it, and we actually got offers from 3 of them because it was so well buttoned up. And on the flip side, the buyer was just one of the nicest, most reasonable people I've dealt with as well. And at the end of the day, we were able to get her a 7-figure exit. We were able to get him a great business that is one of the nicer ones I've seen over the years. And both ended up doing really well with the acquisition. And of course, that's the goal, right? The goal for us is to hopefully give a buyer a great business to own and help one of our clients get a really good deal for the business. So I can't say what the site is. We're always held by confidentiality, but it was in the home improvement space, an e-commerce business that she had bought for a pretty small amount of money and grew up into a 7-figure business. And that's always a great success story to watch.
You bet. I bet it would be. What would people find? And I actually know the answer to this because I had a good poke around. But what would people find on your website?
On our website, you can find what businesses we currently have for sale. You can request a free valuation. And I recommend if you're even thinking about this, reach out to us. We don't charge for this. It's something that we provide for free just to get to know who you are and tell you a little bit about who we are. We'll tell you where your business is and what you might need to work on to increase its value. And then we've got tons of resources on the site as well, videos. And we recently started a podcast back in October. And we're talking to our previous clients. We're talking to buyers. We're talking to experts in the industry and really kind of getting into the weeds on some of these issues. So really content rich. We have a blog, which I did a lot of blogging for a while. So some really in-depth articles and pieces on how to buy a business, how to get funding for a business. Pretty much any question that you might have should be on the site. So lots of good resources. That's at quietlightbrokerage.com. And if you want to subscribe to our podcast, you can find us at the Quiet Light Podcast on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play.
That's wonderful. Well, Mark, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You shared just a wealth of information. And again, Mark's website is quietlightbrokerage.com. Mark, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, I can see we are out of time. Keep in mind, as usual, we do keep all the notes for you here. If there's something you'd like to review that Mark shared or maybe something you missed, we do keep them, and you'll find the show notes for this particular episode at jamesmartell.com/AB489. A final reminder that if you'd like to be alerted each week to new episodes, I do, as always, invite you to subscribe to the Affiliate Buzz. And if you haven't done so yet, why don't you open up an email and send a blank email right now to affiliate_buzz@aweber.com, affiliate_buzz@aweber.com. We'd love to have you. Mark, thanks again. And to our listeners, thanks for listening to another edition of the Affiliate Buzz.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of WebmasterRadio.fm's management or sponsors. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without authorized consent of WebmasterRadio.fm is prohibited.